Hello and welcome to this week's video. My name is Anuska Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and just want to make sure you're aware I'm actually creating and publishing more short videos now. So I'm scattering those throughout the week, still doing these long videos every week, but giving you more short videos throughout the week with little snippets of content, whether it's around sort of vocal function and technical aspects of voice, or whether it's around the psychology and the emotional aspects of your voice. So watch out for those. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. So today, inspired by a recent event in my own life, I wanted to talk about leaving your comfort zone to create change. And truly, if you're in your comfort zone, you can't create anything new. And one of the reasons vocal work, vocal coaching, vocal training is so scary for many people, they don't necessarily consciously realize this, is because you have to step into a new version of yourself. You're leaving that old self behind with those old vocal habits, and you're stepping into a new, true version of yourself. Because I say this all the time, but the true voice in us all, regardless of accent, regardless of native language, is powerful, open, free, and expressive. So by that, I mean, you're not limited by anything. You can speak loud if you want, you can speak quiet if you want, you can speak fast, you can speak slow, you can be expressive, you can be monotone, you can be what you like, but you're not limited by your habits. And our vocal habits, honestly, are there to keep us comfortable. So your current vocal habits are keeping you in your comfort zone. And so what I see a lot of the time, people will think that they want to do voice training, and then when it actually comes down to it, there's a lot of fear that comes up, and suddenly they disappear. I don't hear from them again. They're like, yeah, I want to do voice training. And then the reality of it really starts to hit them. And it's like, it may not be conscious, but they start to realize what this actually means. I have to step in to a new version of myself. And I would argue a truer version of yourself. So the vocal habits that you have created, yes, you have created them, but no, probably not consciously. So this does not mean you beat yourself up, are keeping you safe, are keeping you comfortable. And in some way, there is an emotional payoff. And people get very challenged when I say this, because they like to think that their vocal habits have got nothing to do with me. No, I just speak like this because I've always spoken like this. But your vocal habits are actually a product of your conditioning, which is formed in your very, very early years. So you won't remember, this is all happening well before, you're really actually speaking fully. So this is why it seems so out there. No, why would I not want to project my voice? Why would I speak really fast? So yes, you still have to do the training, of course, because we're still working with the body. We're still working with different systems in the body. We've got to strengthen muscles. We've got to release muscles. We've got to get more agility and flexibility. So absolutely, you still need to do the training, the physical training. But if that's all you do, you're going to hit a ceiling. You are going to reach a plateau, because actually what's keeping those vocal habits in place, because it's on some level comfortable for you, is emotional. If you don't look at the emotional side of this, you will just go back to what you were doing before. And actually, a lady contacted me a few weeks ago. I won't mention any names because I'm working with her privately at the moment. But she initially contacted me because she said she'd been doing sort of voice training for 2 years. She was doing her exercises every day. She'd done a few things, a course, she'd done a few private sessions with someone. And she said, nothing's really changing. And I said, this is why, because it's not really about the exercises. It's about the emotional piece that's holding your current vocal habits in place. So I really want you to start with compassion to, first of all, get clear on what your perceived voice limitations are or your vocal habits are. So maybe you think you speak too fast. Maybe you run out of breath and you breathe very shallow. Maybe your throat feels very tight when you speak. Maybe you feel like you're always swallowing your sound. Maybe you find it hard to be expressive and the voice is very flat and monotone. And then I want you to actually, without thinking from the logical mind, I just want you to sit and sort of write freely or meditate on this, whatever works for you, and just allow yourself to, without thinking, what is the emotional payoff for this? How does this habit, how does this vocal habit keep me safe? Now, from the logical mind, the ego mind is not going to like this question, because it likes to think that we're separate and everything's got out there and it's got nothing to do with me. But we have to start to see that in some way we have created this for a reason. It really is the first step, because if you just try and bypass that and do the exercises, you are never going to actually really truly get lasting results. So it's about peeling back the onion. And, you know, my work with my Jungian psychology hat on is a lot of this is shadow work, which means you're not conscious of it. But there are things that you can start to peel back the layers of the onion a little bit. So what we call the pre-conscious. And the pre-conscious is what you are aware of. It's sort of there under the surface. By asking yourself a few questions, by asking yourself more deliberate questions and being willing to kind of just sit and sort of free write or sit in meditation, the answers will start to appear. But you can't get this through the logical mind. But the layer below that is then the personal unconscious, which I go into in the shadow work with clients. But this is the first stage in the pre-conscious. And this you can access more easily. But if you really want to go deeper, then you have to do the real shadow work, which is unconscious, which requires a bit more understanding and skill of how to access that, because you can't get there directly, you can't get there logically. But just start to ask yourself some questions, just keep it very open-ended. So you can either say, well, look, what's the emotional payoff for this? How does this particular habit, speaking fast, whatever it is, fill in the blank, breathing shallow, running out of breath, finding it hard to project, how does that keep me safe? How is that protecting me? And it could be that you won't get criticized. It could be that people won't laugh at you. It could be that you don't have to be seen. This is a big thing for many clients I work with, that they actually really have a fear of being in the limelight. And so if no one can hear me, I won't be in the limelight. Sounds really simple. Then you need to really explore, what's my fear of being in the limelight? So you can see how you have to start sort of peeling back the onion. Now, as I say, the ego doesn't like these questions. I think people often get quite triggered when I talk about this, because it's in some way saying that they've created this, which you have. It's just unconscious, meaning you didn't deliberately do it. So it's not about blaming. It's not about beating yourself up. But then it's about really getting honest with yourself and about what is, for using the example of limelight, which I think is very common, what is the fear of being in the limelight? What kind of person is in the limelight? That's always a good question to ask. I think when we can take it out of ourselves and look at it in someone else. So we see someone in the limelight, how do we judge that person? What do we make that mean? Or we see someone with a very loud voice, or we see someone that talks and commands a room. What kind of person is that? And then you need to start to look at, how do I judge that, or how do I reject that in myself? And this is where you have to start peeling back the onion. Now, this is a journey. You're not going to do this in an hour, 2 hours, but just starting to free yourself, open your mind to this, then allows you to begin to start to integrate this. And that is then when you allow all of the colors of your voice to be expressed. Because if you just do the exercises, you're going to go back. So just on a side note before I finish this video, so for me, it's very interesting, because I have been doing voice coaching and training. And I mean, I've been literally working on my voice since I was 10. So it's been, you know, a few decades. And I have been studying and training voice for nearly 15 years. So for me, it's not so much the voice stuff that brings up the fear, because I'm actually quite comfortable now leaving my comfort zone with my voice. I have done so many things over the years in all sorts of different ways. I'm a singer, so I've worked with hundreds of different voice coaches, singing teachers over the years, different countries, gone to numerous workshops, conferences, etc. Also spent a lot of time when I was younger doing a lot of speech and drama and public speaking, etc. So not much around the voice from that perspective phases me. But what does bring a lot of fear for me is being behind a camera. Now, not in this way, because I have control over this, but being behind a camera that someone else is controlling. And so the other week I did a live session, I was singing, and I had 3 cameras like right in my face, following me around. And that was incredibly uncomfortable for me. And it was like someone was really in my space. And so I do this for myself when I'm in these situations that are taking me out of my comfort zone. I go away and I do this and I start to unpack, what is it and I'm really afraid of? What does this mean? You know, what kind of person doesn't have a problem being in front of a camera and having a camera in their face? Because otherwise we're always going to feel trapped. We're always going to feel stuck. We're always going to feel stuck in this comfort zone. And we cannot create anything new in our life from our comfort zone. You cannot create a bigger business, a different kind of relationship, a different kind of career if you will not leave your comfort zone. So you have to be willing to leave. And truthfully, it's just the ego that creates the comfort zone, which isn't who you are anyway. The true self wants to express, the true self wants to be creative and connect with people and be abundant and live fully in the world. It's the ego that's trying to kind of pull us back all the time and say, no, this isn't safe. Get back in your box. And so for me, that was a big challenge for me. And I was like, whoa, I really don't like this. But I knew it was part of my growth, because if I want to be doing more live sessions and singing in TV, etc., I have to be okay with cameras in my face. So I just wanted to share that, because I think sometimes you might look at someone like myself and think, well, what do you know about being in your comfort zone or leaving your comfort zone with your voice? And I have absolutely been there over the years. I've just been doing this for so long, but I have it in other ways in my life. So I hope that's really helped. I really challenge you to start to explore the payoff, the comfort zone that you've created with your voice, and just start to see if you can peel back the layers of the onion. And then if you are ready to go to that level where you're ready to face some of this and work with a coach like myself, you can book a 30-minute voice discovery call below where we can chat about this. I can give you some insights, some understanding of your voice. Or if you just simply want to have a full 1-hour actual session with me, where we'll do a bit of both, the practical side, the technical side, and look at the emotional side as well, then you can book that hour Reclaim Your Voice session. All the links are below. I also have a free PDF. I've got an online course. So you don't have to spend any money. You can obviously keep watching me on YouTube as well. But there are options if you're ready to go to the next level, because YouTube videos won't change your voice. You need to have that direct experience, and you need to learn to apply stuff in your voice. And truly, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can't hear the picture when you're in the frame. You can't see the picture. It's very, very hard to do this by yourself. So if you are serious about it and you want to do something beyond YouTube videos, click below, let's have a chat, and let's see if we can actually get you out of your comfort zone with your voice and creating something that you really want in your business and your life. So thank you so much, and I will see you on my video next week.